So welcome to my YouTube channel. It's the middle of September and I've been busy harvesting the crops I've got in my back garden at the moment. So I'm just going to go through what I've harvested and a few more bits that I'm going to pick off today. Now my aubergines are doing really well. So as you can see, I've got a bumper basket full of crops here. The aubergines, as you can see, are absolutely amazing. Absolutely blown away by these. I think I said that I've been trying to grow aubergines for years, and often, you know, you're only just getting your aubergines now in September and you've barely got any season left. Well, I got these Scorpio F1 variety, you know, part grown, and they were a grafted variety, and I've been getting aubergines for, you know, absolutely months now. It's absolutely fantastic. Even now, I mean, I've harvested these off today. I've probably taken about 5 off. I've got loads of little ones on here still, look, and I could still harvest these small. So, you know, if you didn't have many on your plant, you don't have to wait for them to get big. You're not waiting for them to ripen. In fact, I can have that one off there. You know, you're not waiting for them to ripen. You just pick them when they're the right size for you. So I'll definitely recommend that, and I'm definitely going to do that next year. And with my tomatoes, I'm literally just trying to ripen what I've got. If you've watched one of my previous videos, I defoliate as the tomatoes grow in a specific way. Now, if you're not sure how to do that, please do watch the video that we're going to put here so you know how to do it. I see far too many people with tomatoes that aren't right. They've got loads of green tomatoes at this time of year. Now really, you should be on your tail end of tomatoes now when you're in the middle of September, because you've only got about another month left, maybe a little bit longer depending where you live in the country, before the frost hits, you know. So all mine are defoliated, so I'm just looking at ripening. Now you don't have to wait for them to get really red. I don't like taking them off green and ripening them, because you've then got loads of tomatoes everywhere trying to ripen. But it is perfectly okay to take off the slightly more orangey ones, because they will ripen up quite quickly. I've got quite a good selection in my basket already, as you can see, of the tomatoes that are ripening up. What you will find this time of year, because of the excessive amounts of downpours of rain you will get the odd split tomato. Now, as long as the tomato looks okay and it's just a split, it's perfectly okay to eat it. You just have to eat it quickly, because it won't keep, or cook with it or freeze it. You know, and if you left it on the plant, it would go, you know, manky, mouldy, wouldn't look very nice. But if it's just a common or garden or split in it and there's nothing wrong with the tomato, it's perfectly okay to eat it. To move over, I've got a few more that I can be taking off. These ones look okay. And yeah, it's just a case of, you know, the tail end of my crop this year. And I've got some more over here. This is where you start to run out of room in your basket, because you've got such a big harvest. So who would think, you know, in September you'd be getting quite so many. Oh, there we go, there's some split ones. See, there we go, look. That's just split. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's not mouldy or funny looking, so it's perfectly okay to eat that. But like I say, it will not keep. So when I get these indoors, I'm going to separate the split ones from the good ones. This is an unusual variety. I don't go, obviously, the bright red. It's a tomato black cherry, and although they don't actually go black, they just kind of go like, well, as you can see, a slightly different hue of red. So they are really quite lovely. And one of the great things about growing things yourself is that you can have a variety of different colours. I've got, you know, I've got reds, I've got oranges, I've got this black cherry, I've got these lovely yellow ones. You know, it just makes things a little bit more interesting. If you bought the kind of like these heritage varieties in, you know, these unusual varieties and some of the heritage varieties that I've got in a supermarket, you'd absolutely pay a fortune, whereas at home you can grow these things really easily and far cheaper. So as we move around, I've got some lovely peppers here. So I've got sweet peppers and chili peppers. Now, I've noticed a lot of people getting confused. They said, oh, I've planted red peppers, but they're green. Now, I know a lot of you will realise this, but there's some people that don't. If you've never grown before, they start off green and then they either turn red, orange or yellow, all depending what variety you've got. And some of them, one of my banana chilies actually kind of starts off like a yellowy green, like so, and then it actually does go red. So it's perfectly okay to pick them green or red. They just taste different. When they've coloured up, they have a more sweeter taste, and there would be different, you know, you would cook with them slightly differently basically. So I've harvested a couple of peppers off, which are over here because I've run out of room in my basket. So I'll need to get myself a bigger basket, I think. So yeah, I've harvested off one green and one orange. So, you know, which you can do the same. I'm not sure they're all going to ripen up, and I might move them into the greenhouse or into my conservatory because I've still got quite a lot of green ones. So if anyone's got any tips on speeding up the ripening process, that'd be really fantastic on peppers, because I don't know how to do that. But I've still got lots of lovely little peppers on there, and even if I picked them small, it really doesn't matter. I need to keep watering them, I think, because they're in pots. They need a little bit more water. But I could still eat that little one there if I wanted to. So there isn't, when people think, oh, do they need to get to a certain size? They really don't. It's really your choice. And with the cucumbers over here, I mean, as you can see, I've still got, I defoliated a little bit because I was getting a little bit of powdery mildew, which you will often get this time of year. To be honest, if you're only getting powdery mildew now, then you've done really, really well, in my opinion, because I've got tons of cucumbers off these, and I've still got lots more coming. Can you see that? So lots of cucumbers coming. So ones like that, they grow incredibly quickly. These are the lunchbox variety, and I'm really, really pleased with this variety. Oh, I've got one down here. So do you know what? I thought I'd harvested them all, and the thing with these is they sneak up out of nowhere. So that's another cucumber there. So really pleased with those. As you can see, I've picked off today, and it wasn't that many days ago I picked off a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cucumbers. So I'm eating a lot of cucumber, as are my friends and family. So I've also got these lovely cucamelons as well. Now they look like little miniature melons, but they don't taste anything like a melon. If I was going to say what they tasted like, they're a bit like a citrusy cucumber. They're really lovely and crunchy. So a really nice addition to your salads and things. Absolutely lovely. So I've picked quite a few of them off. But I've still got quite a lot coming, so that's a little bit too small. I'll let them get, you know, more like that size really. I've already picked off quite a few that I've got in my basket. I thought I'd start picking stuff, because if I did the whole video of me picking things, the video would be very, very long. The only thing with these, they do hide in here, so you have to really pull them out. And these are quite a really nice thing to do, and they do grow really easily. Cucumbers, normal traditional cucumbers, like those ones over there, are often quite problematic, and they quite often die off really easily, whereas this, the only problem I seem to have is keeping it supported with my support here. But bearing in mind we're near the end of the season, and I just keep sticking a stick against it to kind of hold it up. They are a lot easier to grow than the other cucumbers are, and they're really quite lovely. I have got a lot more in the basket there. And the other thing I've picked my beans as well. So this time of year, I'm not sure whether I'm going to get any more beans. I could have left them on and let them swell out so that I could get my seeds from them, but I've already bought my seeds for next year, and we do really get through a lot of beans in our household. My son eats them nearly every day with his dinner, so I decided to pick them off. I have still fed and watered them, because as far as I'm concerned, until the frost comes, do you know what, they could chuck a bit of bloom off and I could get some more beans. We only need for it to be quite mild in the run-up over the next few weeks, and I could easily get some more, although I'm not holding out that much hope. But let's be honest, with a lot of these things, you're not going to be putting anything else there, so there's no rush to get all these things in. I see lots of people harvesting everything, and then it won't keep unless you're going to freeze it and make things with it. So things like your beans, you're not going to put anything else there, so you might as well edge your bets as to whether you get any more. Same with the cucumbers. Obviously pick off what's ready and big enough, but leave the plants there. The aubergines, again, you know, I can't do anything else with that there, so I might as well just leave them there and keep harvesting them, hopefully into October. The only thing that you wouldn't promote any extra growth with is with the tomatoes, but I wouldn't whip them all off. I would take my chances as to what would ripen up. I'd far rather ripen stuff up naturally than be left with loads of green tomatoes. So I do hope that you've enjoyed watching my harvest. If there's anything that you want help with, please do put it in the comments and we'll do our best to answer. If you've got any real successes, anything you're harvesting, I always love to hear what you've got to say.